Hello, my name is Angela Miller of Concordia Consularis, the spiritual and business agency of the Fifth World of Peace. This short video today is to tell you about an online clearing and activation that is specifically designed for the Indigo generation. These people are you, are all of us that were targeted in the very early stages of our incarnations in the early eras of light and formation of ourselves before we took the journey to where we are now. Some of the common features of indigos is that there was repeated damage to self created with the programs that were imposed upon our natural light line of creation. This damage took place in a number of ways, often with addictions and habits that sought to suppress who we really were, because nobody believed who we really were. We didn't know who we really were because the data was erased at birth and through subsequent and previous lifetimes that this took place. So, my darling lovelies, on the 2nd of February 2022, we are offering a global clearing and activation for indigos who want to step forward and have their light technology cleansed of all the barriers, programs that were imposed upon you by certain specific races here, present now, in the form of domination and control. When you were growing, when you were young, you saw these things. You had innate psychic capabilities, clairvoyancy, clairaudience, clairsentience, but to name a few. Some of you were told that you were imagining it. Some of you were told that it meant nothing. If you had visions, they didn't exist and were scolded for having such an indignant thought. Well, you were right all the way along. What you have always known within you was correct. The system sought to suppress your inner being, your inner realization with their technology that fed off your pain and anguish of being here on the planet. In these times now, we are losing more and more of our younger ones. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to believe. The society and system that we have been living in this present day does not provide ripe conditions for them to thrive. The crystals, the rainbows, the stellars, the golden ones, the diamond ones, they weren't designed to handle this level of suppression. They are beings of peace, natural and innate to their function here on the planet. We, the Indigo generations, were supposed to break down the barriers so that these future generations could live in peace. What has happened is that we have been so imprinted upon that the true awakening on earth could never take place. Now is the time for that awakening of your DNA, the awakening of your natural innate functions to overcome the system and break it down from within. I speak to all of you who endured pain and suffering, the Indigo generation, squashed by addiction, self-harm, suicide attempts. Many of you believed that you would not make it to the age of 30, and if you did, you were lucky. If you made it to 40, even luckier. If you made it to 50, that was a surprise. If you made it to 60, 70, that also was a surprise. And it turned you into a cynic. Somebody that became so angry and bitter that this ever took place and that nobody saw it. So when these changes are happening on Earth of domination and control, and advanced forms of multi-level technology are used in your body, it causes harm. You speak to the people around you. They don't listen. They can't hear you. Again, Indigo generation, It is now the time for your activation and clearing at deeper levels of your light technology, so you can harness exactly what you're meant to be doing here on Earth as guardians, as protectors of the incoming generations of now and the future. The buck stops, the line is drawn. We will not tolerate our children going through what we went through. We know how hard that was. And we embody every single part of our core knowingness, beingness, separate of the system of domination and control. Hear my soul in these words, speak to yours. Hear the resonance of my heart, always once connected from those early times of the one. You remember the truth. You may have fallen into their agenda and ways of thinking, doing and being, but you can change that at any point. So, on the 2nd of the 2nd, 2022, across the planet, we are offering you a clearing like no other. If you were targeted in any way, shape or form, this is for you. This is for you to really realize your own power of your own awakening dream. Do get in contact with me at Concordia Consularis, the spiritual business agency of the Fifth World of Peace, or at Harmony Imperfect Council. Do come on board, do share. Most importantly, come and activate your highest potential as we remove those target influences from your experience, so that your heart won't break and your spirit and soul will not break. You know what I'm talking about. You feel it on the inner levels of your being. Find the details below, step forward. Don't be afraid. Your eternal courage is here, active and waiting to be unleashed in a deeper, stronger, and infinite way. Do not let the struggles of this lifetime bear you down, because we're all here and we're ready to move.